Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome to a very different review for me. First of all, it's live, which I don't do many of. I did like maybe 5 this year. This is my 6th one maybe. It's live, and also it's going to be a quick review for Inversion, a game that came out early last month, June, and it's a game that many people haven't really tried out. No one really bought, and a big sign of this is that Best Buy sold it for 20 bucks like a week and a half after it came out. So yeah, it's a big sign that no one really bought it. So Inversion, I want to talk about quickly, so I'm not going to explain every little thing. So you know what, let's get straight into it. I'm going to explain the story really quickly though here, okay? You have 2 characters. You have Davis and Leo, and they are both cops and partners. And they are just, you know, doing their cop thing. They're talking to each other while driving home because Davis wants to go home and say hello to his daughter and his wife, who his daughter is actually having a birthday party. And then, boom, on their way home, things just go nuts. I mean, these guys called Lutadors, who you have no idea who they are, aliens, things, I don't know, you have no idea who they are, and they just start killing things using gravity, making things lift up and stuff, and you have no idea what's going on. And Davis tries to get home with Leo, of course, helping him out, and he finds out that his wife has been killed and his daughter is nowhere to be found. So pretty much for the rest of the game, Leo and Davis is trying to go and find out what happened to Davis's daughter, going around meeting up with resistance groups, trying to fight off these Lutador guys, and that's pretty much it. That's the name of the guys. They're called Lutadors, not Luchadors, Lutadors. So there you go, there's a story pretty much. It's fairly generic, but I actually kind of like it only because I like the main 2 characters. And not even in the beginning. In the beginning, they're kind of the rough and gruff, I'm a dickhead character, you know, and stuff. But later on, they actually become more characters. They start caring about things. They start showing emotions. And I actually kind of like that. So that's the only reason why I would say I kind of like the stories, because later on, the characters definitely grew on me. Let's talk about the sound, which sadly isn't as good as the story, only because the voice acting just isn't very good. And the main reason why is because the dialogue is just not well written at all. You can just hear some of the voice actors struggle with some of the lines, and it's just really awkward to listen to. I can hear some of these voice actors I've heard before, like the main guy Davis. I've heard that voice actor before, I think. So I know he can do voice acting. Here it just doesn't really come off well. The sound design is good, especially when stuff is just like levitating in the sky and stuff with the gravity shifting powers, and just some of the guns and stuff, they sound good. And the soundtrack itself is pretty generic, but it's alright. So for the most part, sound is okay, but not as good as the story. So let's go on to the graphics. Graphics is surprisingly really good. You have character models that are really well detailed, especially the main 2 characters. You can actually see all the dirt on their face and all the wreckage and stuff and all the cuts and bruises on them. It actually looks really good. I really actually enjoy the environments too, because you'll be going through environments and they're all just destroyed. There'll be things hanging off stuff and things floating because of the gravity powers. It actually looks really cool and actually adds some variety to the environments. I actually really enjoyed that. But sometimes you'll go close to stuff and you'll see some drab textures, and it's just some awkward placement of stuff. It just doesn't look amazing when you get up close, but you know, I like the variety, and I do like the character models, and I do like the effects too, with all the stuff levitating and stuff. So you know what, I actually do like the graphics. They're actually good. So you know what, let's go on to the gameplay. The gameplay here, for the most part, is a standard third-person shooter, and we've played so many. It has a cover system, it has shotguns, assault rifles, rocket launchers, pistols. I mean, you freaking played this so many times, and here, I mean, it does work. The aiming's nice, the shooting feels good, you feel like you're actually shooting stuff, the cover system works good, but the thing is, it has one cool feature, and that is the gravity shifting abilities. Later on in the game, you actually acquire this thing you attach to your arm, and later on, like later in the game, you actually get 2 more abilities, or actually 1 more ability, so you have 2 abilities. One, you can actually lift things in the air, and you actually pick them up and throw them at enemies and stuff, or you actually pick up enemies and throw them at other enemies, or at walls and stuff, and watch them just explode. Or you have the other ability later on in the game, which actually makes things heavier. So you see a truck that's actually floating above the enemy because of the gravity. You actually shoot that truck and it'll just go heavy and just smash into enemies and stuff. Really like the gravity abilities, mostly because it adds a lot of strategy to the game, which I really enjoy. So overall, I actually really enjoy the gravity manipulation in the game, even though the gunplay is pretty generic. So there you go. I actually really like both of those. Also in the game you have a co-op multiplayer, which is a co-op campaign, or you can play competitive multiplayer. Sadly I couldn't play either one of these because, not because I don't have any friends, I use that joke all the time, because no one's playing. Absolutely. No one is freaking playing. If I had all the friends in the world, I mean everybody in the world was my friend, then I still couldn't play because no one freaking has the game, so I couldn't play. So sadly that's a thing, but yeah. The campaign itself is fun. If you can find this game for $15 in in the next few months, which most likely you will, I actually recommend it because it's actually a fun little 7 to 8 hour campaign with some cool little gravity abilities thrown in. So, and some decent gunplay. So overall, I actually enjoy this game. So, Inversion, not bad actually, pretty fun. So there you go, there's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, and goodbye.